This is Timur Dor with The Beat, chatting with voice actors Tress MacNeille and Jess Harnell about the latest season of Animaniacs on Hulu. How you guys doing?
Great. We're
Really
chatting with you. We
well.
couldn't be happier. We're doing great, buddy.
So, the original Animaniacs voice director, the legendary Andrea Romano, is obviously retired, and taking over her duties for this revival is Shara Sherman, who actually won an Emmy for Animaniacs.
That's right. She did.
How about that?
She's been in the animation industry for a number of years, and you may have known her from her time back when she was doing Disney casting. I'm curious if you talk about the experience having Sarah as a new person in the directing chair.
Well, for me, Andrea Romano were big shoes to fill because she is one of the all-time greats for voice directing. I don't think anybody would dispute that. But Sarah did a great job, man. She gets it. She doesn't, she doesn't push you further than is necessary. She knows when something's good, and she was just as easy as she could be to work with. For me, what do you think, Tress?
Well, I had known Sarah for
Sure, yeah.
not as a director for many years, but she had come up through the ranks
Yeah.
in casting. I think she was with Disney when I first met her, and so it was wonderful to see the growth and the transition
Yeah, sure.
that she was able to make, and to be given this daunting task of roping us in.
Herding the
But
cats.
she was good. She was good to us from the very beginning, in that she knew that we had certain styles and ways that we like to work,
If you
and
can call it work.
so we all just kind of got along really well because we spoke the same language.
Indeed. Very true.
So for the first season, you were lucky enough to record together before necessity required you to record remotely. I don't know if you were ever able to get back in the recording booth together, but I'm curious, even with the convenience of doing remote recording, do you find the experience of recording it in person makes a difference?
Tress?
Well, of course it makes a difference, because we love working with each other, and we have a blast, and we yuck it up, and we laugh, and we have a great time. But we went into the studio and recorded for the most part with all of our episodes. We weren't together, but we recorded separately, but we would go into the studio. And so it was kind of a quasi experience. We love our engineers as well. They're all part of our family, and they're what really help us out, and they make things easier, and they really help us out.
We call the engineers like an extra Warner Brothers playbacko. But I'll tell you, what Tress is saying is true. It's like a lot of the time, cartoons, when I got started, I'm sure it was probably the same for Tress, is you did group records. Everybody was together.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, even before COVID, they began to record us individually. But for this show, and I don't know how many of them I would say this about as a blanket statement, I was always grateful when we got to do it together, because it was literally like going to camp with your friends.
And we had said from the very beginning that we needed to record together, because a lot of shows do record separately and not in the ensemble form. And I usually don't have a problem with that. It's nice to be able to kind of cruise in, do your part, and then get out. But with Animaniacs, we wanted to be together.
We did, and we still do.
Yeah. So finally, I know it's been announced this third season is the last one for the revival. It's always as much fun as you had making this show, coming back again. Goodbyes are always a little bit bittersweet. How does saying goodbye this time around compare to the first time you said goodbye with the original Animaniacs?
Well, the good news is that, when you make friends, you don't not become friends because you don't see each other at work every day. And we've always been tight since the beginning of the first show, and we've stayed that way in all the years before the reboot, and we'll do that now. And the good news is that even if we aren't making new shows for Hulu, you never know what could be down the line. The Animaniacs may return, and in the meantime, all of us who are joined together in the community of loving that show, We're all a family, and the shows are still there, and you can still watch them. And we love everybody who loved it, and we were happy to be part of their lives. Tress, what about
Yeah,
you?
we're not going anywhere. I don't
Yeah.
feel like there's any kind of an end at all. It's just like every time I hear it now today, I think, what's going on? What? It's over? I don't
Yeah.
believe it. I refuse to believe it. And so maybe that will bring some kind of magical power. You never know.
The neat thing is too that, you know, we got to have the experience of like adults who grew up with this show in the 90s got to share it with their kids today. Well, maybe those kids today, thanks to the magic of streaming, in 10, 15 years will say, you know, there was this show called Animaniacs, and they'll go back into the streaming world and rediscover it again and again.
Guys, it's been a pleasure chatting with you. Here's to more Animaniacs in the future.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Take
And we
care.
love your background. It's our favorite one.
Thank you.
Thank you.